In our lesson today, we're going to find the measure of missing angles by taking an algebraic approach. All right, if you take a look at some of the pictures that are on this note sheet, you'll notice that none of the angles are given to us. So what we're going to have to do is use our knowledge of angle relationships in order to be able to figure out what type of angle pair we're working with, and then that's going to help us to set up an equation that we can use to find the measure of every angle in the picture. And so let's take a look at this first example. I see two angles in that picture. One of them is labeled A, the other one is labeled 4A plus 5, and I have to be able to figure out the measure of each angle in that picture. Now, fortunately, I see that when I put these two angles together, they're going to form a right angle. Okay, these two angles, when you put them together, create the right angle, which means that these are called complementary angles. Complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my two angles and add them together, and I know their sum has to be 90. So let's make our equation first. My first angle is A, plus my second angle is 4A plus 5. And again, when I put these angles together, they create a 90-degree right angle. Okay, so there's the equation that we're going to use to figure out the measure of the angles in our picture. Let's combine our similar terms, A and 4A. All right, that creates 5A plus 5 equals 90. And now this is just a simple, straightforward two-step equation. I'm going to get 5A alone by subtracting 5 from each side. Okay, on the left side of the equal sign, 5 minus 5 is 0, leaving us with 5A. On the right, 90 minus 5 is 85. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to see if I can get just the value of A. I don't want 5A, I just want 1A, so I'm going to divide each side by 5. And 5A divided by 5 is the 1A that we're looking for. If you do 85 divided by 5, you get a value of 17. So the value of A is 17. Okay, now we're going to use this value to figure out the measure of every angle in the picture. Now, fortunately, I see this angle here is A, so I know that that angle is a 17-degree angle. That one is a nice, easy one. To get this angle, 4A plus 5, what I'm going to do is substitute the value of A into the expression. So this is going to become 4 times 17 plus 5. And now with order of operations, I'll multiply first. 4 times 17, that gives me 68. And if you add 5 to that, you get 73. So this angle here is a 73-degree angle. In our next picture, again, we have two missing angles. One of them is 2x minus 15. The other one is 3x plus 10. And again, I'm going to use algebra in order to figure out the measure of each angle in that picture. Now, on this picture, okay, I see when I put these two angles together, they're going to form a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. That means that these two angles are called supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles that have a sum of 180 degrees. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my two angles, I'm going to add them together, and again, when I do that, the sum has to be 180 degrees. So let's make our equation. My first angle says 2x minus 15. I'm going to add that to my second angle, which says 3x plus 10. And when you put these two angles together, they're going to have a sum of 180 degrees. A straight angle is 180 degrees. Okay, I'm just going to rearrange my terms so that my similar terms are together. 2x plus 3x minus 15 plus 10 equals 180. And now I'll combine my similar terms in order to create a two-step equation. 2x plus 3x makes 5x. Okay, negative 15 plus 10 is negative 5, so minus 5 equals 180. 5x minus 5 equals 180. There's your two-step equation. Let's get 5x all alone by adding 5 this time to each side. Okay, on the left side of the equal sign, negative 5 plus 5 is 0, leaving us with the 5x. On the right, 180 plus 5 is 185. And now what we're going to do again, we don't want 5x, we want just 1x, so we'll have to divide each side by 5 in order to get that value. 5x divided by 5 is our 1x. 185 divided by 5 is 37. So the value of x this time is 37. Now, if I look at my picture, neither angle is just labeled with x, so I'm going to have to substitute this value into each of the angles. Let's start with 2x minus 15, okay? For this angle right here, I'm going to do 2 times 37 minus 15. If you do 2 times 37, that's going to give you 74. And then when you subtract 15, 74 minus 15 is 59. So this is a 59-degree angle. 59 degrees. Let's get our other angle. Again, I'm going to substitute in the value of x. 3 times 37 plus 10. 3 times 37 when I multiply is 111. Add 10 to that. That gives us 121. So this is a 121-degree angle. In my next picture, I need to find the value of n, which is right here. And I'm going to add to that and a. All right, I have the variable a in this angle right here. So I'm going to find the value of n, which is in this angle, and the value of a, which is in this angle. And when I look at this picture, I see two lines that intersect. And when I see intersecting lines and I'm talking about angles, I have to think about vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are angles that are on opposite sides of the point of intersection, and vertical angles are congruent or equal to each other. So in this example, if I wanted to find the value of n, 7n minus 80, well, I know this angle is vertical to this 18-degree angle, so both of these angles have to be 18 degrees. So again, I'm going to set up an equation to figure out the value of n. I'm going to take the angle 7n minus 80, 7n minus 80, and I'm going to set it equal to 18 because vertical angles are congruent to each other. So this is the equation I'm going to use to get the value of n, and it's just a two-step equation. Let's get 7n alone by adding 80 to each side. Okay, on the left, negative 80 plus 80 is 0, leaving us with 7n. On the right, 18 plus 80 is 98. And now we don't want 7n, we just want to get 1n, so we'll divide each side by 7 in order to get that. 7n divided by 7 is our 1n. If you do 98 divided by 7, n is equal to 14. Okay, we're going to take a similar approach now to get the value of a. 3a minus 12, that's vertical to the 162-degree angle, so I know that these two angles are equal or congruent to each other. So let's take our angle 3a minus 12, 3a minus 12, and set it equal to the 162-degree angle. This is the equation that will let us get the value of a. We'll get 3a alone by first adding 12 to each side. On the left, negative 12 plus 12 is 0, leaving us with 3a. On the right, 162 plus 12 is 174. And now we need to divide each side by 3 so that we can get 1a. 3a divided by 3 is 1a. 174 divided by 3 is 58. Okay, so by using vertical angles and the fact that vertical angles are congruent to each other, I was able to figure out that n equals 14 and a equals 58. In the next example, I'm told that 3 lines meet at a point, and we're going to set up and solve an equation to figure out what the value of a is. I have an angle here that's labeled a, and I have another angle right here that's also labeled a. I have to figure out what the measure of those angles are going to be. Okay, so I see there's an angle A right here. I have another angle A right here. And in between those two angles is this 144-degree angle. And the nice thing I notice is that if I take those 3 angles and I put them together, right here, they're going to form a straight angle. Okay, so these 3 angles, when I put them together, have to add up to 180 degrees. So let's make our equation. This angle A plus this angle A plus the 144-degree angle have to add up to 180 degrees because that's how many degrees are in a straight angle. Let's make a two-step equation. A plus A is 2A plus 144 equals 180. And now we'll get 2a all alone by subtracting 144 from each side. Okay. If I do that on the left, 144 minus 144 is 0, leaving us with 2a. 180 minus 144 is equal to 36. And now in order to get the value of 1a, I'm going to divide each side by 2. 2a divided by 2 is 1a. 36 divided by 2 is equal to 18. So now I know that both of these angles that are labeled A are equal to 18 degrees. In the next example, again, I'm going to look at this picture. I'm going to use my knowledge of angle relationships in order to set up and solve an equation that will help me to determine the value of each angle in the diagram below. So again, I've got two different angles. This one here labeled 2x plus 122, and then this angle right here labeled 2x plus 22. And once again, if I put these two angles together, here's a straight angle that they form. So I know that these angles are supplementary angles, and when I add them together, I'm going to get 180 degrees. So let's create that equation. Our first angle, 2x plus 122. Add that to your second angle right here, which is 2x plus 22. And together they make a 180 degree straight angle. Okay, let's just rearrange and get our similar terms together. 2x plus 122 plus 22 equals 180. And now we can combine our similar terms to make a two-step equation. 2x and 2x is 4x, plus 122 and 22 is 144, equals 180. And now we'll get the 4x alone by subtracting 144 from each side. On the left, 144 minus 144 is 0, leaving us with 4x. 180 minus 144 is equal to 36. And now to get just 1x, I'll divide each side by 4. 4x divided by 4 is 1x. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I now know the value of x. Now let's get the value of each angle. We'll start with this angle here, 2x plus 122. X is 9, so that's going to become 2 times 9 plus 122. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 122 means that this is a 140 degree angle. Okay, and now for the other angle, 2x plus 22, again, x is 9. 2 times 9 plus 22. 2 times 9 is 18. Add 22 to that, and you get 40. So this angle here is a 40 degree angle. In the next picture, again, we're going to set up and solve an equation so that we can figure out the measure of each angle in the picture. I have this angle labeled 5x, this angle labeled 2x plus 20. If I put these two angles together this time, they form a right angle, which means that these two angles are complementary angles and will add up to 90 degrees. So my first angle, 5x, if I add that to the second angle, 2x plus 20, together they form a 90 degree right angle. 5x and 2x is 7x. Plus 20 equals 90. We'll subtract 20 from each side. On the left, 20 minus 20 is 0, leaving us with just 7x. 90 minus 20 is 70. And then to get just 1x, we'll divide each side by 7. 7x divided by 7 is 1x. 70 divided by 7 is 10. So the value of x is 10. Now in order to get the value of each angle, all right, we've got this angle here, 5x. All I have to do is 5 times 10, which I then know that this is a 50 degree angle. And to get my other angle, I'm going to do 2 times 10 plus 20. 2 times 10 is 20. Add 20 again, and this must be a 40 degree angle. In the next picture, I need to get the value of angle V, which is this marked angle right here. Okay, it includes this angle, which I can see from the picture is a 90 degree angle, and this angle right here, which I can see is vertical to the 46 degree angle. Vertical angles are congruent, so I know that this piece is 46 degrees as well. So to get angle V, I need to take this angle, which again is 90, and add it to this angle, which is 46. So V equals 90 plus 46, which means that V is a 136 degree angle. So this angle right here, which again is labeled V, this angle is 136 degrees.